No, Guyana.
What up, fully?
Yeah.
Hello, Wagwan.
Yeah.
I came from a land. It have many water, many great sons and many daughter. And we have the land, yo, where many ask for. We never see Katrina, nah, those disaster. I feel nice, we come from the golden city. Girl born in gold dust, so we show them pretty. The man full of faith, me nah know none was slippy. Guyana, me say big up on no city. Cause this is the dear land of the free, land of the many waters, resources and trees, land of the rivers and seas. I proud, Phoebe, Guyanese, land of the Amerindians, the Africans, the East Indians, and Portuguese, not to mention the Europeans and the Chinese. Them feel blessed from Guyana beach breeze. Cause enough people tour around the world and ask about Guyana, but don't know where that is. That is the last city of Electoral in the world. That is the land where we live. Land of the biggest one drop falls. Plus we have the longest floating bridge. We from South America, some say the Caribbean, but still a thanks we a give. Alright, 1, 2, mic check. View from gravity, are the nicest. Match time, my city. Are the hypest, we see them gyal wind up in a some liquor tight dress. We are hustle from morning till night catch. Them finno Guyanese, get a youth not like rest. House and car, them finno we like press. Check the bank line them. We not like check. We got gold and diamond, them thing priceless. Timber bauxite, then check the aisle next. GDF, Miami is the finest. I mean I talk about the sugar, nor the rice yet. So a marshal, I drop the Guyanese bomb. For feed the nation, that's the Guyanese plan. Big up a kilo, them with them Guyanese slang. Guyana, that's where them Guyanese from. People tour around the world and ask about Guyana, but don't know where that is. That is the last city of Electoral in the world. That is the land where we live. Land of the biggest one drop falls. Plus we have the longest floating bridge. We from South America, some say the Caribbean, but still a thanks we a give. I came from a land, it have many water, many great sons and many daughter. Is we have the land, what many ask for, we never see Katrina or nah, those disaster. I feel nice, we come from the golden city. Girl born in gold dust, so we sure them pretty. The man full of faith, we nah know none was slippy. Guyana, we say big up on the city. There's enough people tour around the world and ask about Guyana, but don't know where that is. That is the last city of Electoral in the world. That is the land where we live. Land of the biggest one drop falls. Plus we have the longest floating bridge. We from South America, some say the Caribbean, but still a thanks we a give.
Electoral.
Panic, cause every day's another episode. And through it all, we have to hold on. Face the fears and fight no matter how long. Solid, chatty with every load. Don't panic, cause every day's another episode. And through it all, we have to hold on. Face the fears and fight no matter how long. The fight only finish with the weak ones. So when Jaja call you, watch how you respond. Dark face your fears, fight your demons. Can't be firm, we go to a tribulation. He is a heavy load, still a chadana. Have a legacy fi build, so me fi carry on. And the dark days pray fi go to the storm. Now give up none time, cause that's what we want. Solid, Johnny with every load. Don't panic, cause every day's another episode. And to be all, we have to hold on. Face your fears and fight no matter how long. Solid, Johnny with every load. Don't panic, cause every day's another episode. And to it all, we have to hold on. Face your fears and fight no matter how long.
Solid, just like a rock. Spiritually we fight a lot. They trap them, said ya cancel that. You just can't stop me, not try do that. Got to be careful of negligence. Move wise, use up your intelligence. Guard of honor like the presidents. Progress and its evidence. Me no care how much time they want turn me down. Things say me woulda tumble down. Chant to me ancestors speak Congo drum. That's why me know me have to overcome. Stand firm and not lean for no one. You can set up your own program. Have the whole world a sing out your slogan. No time in a slow down. Plus with
solid, Johnny with every load. Don't panic, cause every day's another episode. And to be done. to Friday, we're paving the way. Wake up, the day is bright, time to feel the flow. Turn your dial to Livewire, we're ready to go. Courdel Jones, you know it's gonna be real. From 8 to 9, from 8 to 9, bringing vibes you can feel. News, views, and what's hot today, we'll keep you wired in every way. We'll keep you wired every way, in every way. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning, lighting up your heart. Courdel's here, bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way. Stories that matter, we got the scoop. From the latest headlines to the local truth. It's your community, your voice, your power. Livewire hits you every hour. So grab your coffee, your tea, or toast. With Courdel Jones, we'll give you the most. Livewire, we'll give you the way. Running to the energy, the beat of the street, the show that connects. It's where people meet. We're wired to your world, we got the news. On Livewire, there's nothing to lose. Livewire, turn and feel the spark. Every morning, lighting up your heart. Courdel's here, bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning, lighting up your heart. Courdel's here, bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning, lighting up your heart. Courdel's here, bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way. Stories that matter, we got the scoop. From the latest headlines to the local truth. It's your community, your voice, your power. Livewire hits you every hour. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning, lighting up your heart. It's your community, your voice, your power. Livewire hits you every hour.
Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Livewire with yours truly. It is the 23rd. Jesus. It's the 23rd of June, 2025. Morning to all the persons joining us across the 10 administrative regions. Morning to all the persons joining us across the diaspora. Yeah, morning to all the persons joining us across the diaspora. Special good morning to the persons in the comment section. Happy to have you here with me for yet another episode. So before we jump into it, General Narendra, morning to Abdul Latif, Wazim Nabi, Joseph Satar, good morning. Kamish Jaikaran, morning to you. Rahim Amarali, good morning. Salomi, Sira Mosley, Joe Nabi John, Dudnat Prasad, good morning to you. Walter Fisher, morning to you. Shucks. Guys, just give me 2 minutes, please. I have to, sorry, please, just give me 2 minutes.
From the latest headlines to the local truth, it's your community, your voice, your power. Livewire hits you every hour. So grab your coffee, your tea, or toast. With Courdel Jones, we'll give you the most. Livewire, we'll give you the way. To the energy, the beat of the street, the show that connects. It's where people meet. We're wired to your world, we got the news. On Livewire, there's nothing to lose. Livewire, turn and feel the spark. Every morning, lighting up your heart. Courdel's here, bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning, lighting up your heart. Bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning, lighting up your heart. Courdel's here, bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way. Stories that matter, we got the scoop. From the latest headlines to the local truth. It's your community, your voice, your power. Livewire hits
you every hour. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning lighting up your heart. It's your community, your voice, your power. Livewire hits you every hour. Wake up, the day is bright, and I feel the blue. Turn your dial for your vibe, we're ready to go. With Courdel Jones, you know it's gonna be real. From 8 to 9, bringing vibes you can feel. News, views, and what's hot today will keep you wired in every way. Livewire, tune in and feel the spark. Every morning, lighting up your heart. Courdel's here, bringing life to your day. Monday to Friday, we're paving the way.
Right, so I got that started. Let's jump into it. A bunch of stuff for us to discuss this morning. Sorry about the delay, but yeah, let's go. So first of all, before I begin, if you're wondering what's on the table here, this is the iSecure Auto Fireball. It's available at Game Express. This is your solution to having, or this is a option to have in your home other than the standard fire extinguisher. Now, what this does, you just simply roll it into the fire, throw it into the fire, it explodes, and it extinguishes the fire. They're available at Game Express. They're a lot easier to use in terms of if your child is at home alone, a fire breaks out, they might not necessarily be able to fetch a fire extinguisher, or they may not understand the operations of the fire extinguisher. My blue shirt, chrome, yeah, they may not understand the operations of the fire extinguisher. So this is an easier, simpler option where your child, maybe somebody elderly at home, if God forbid there is a fire, they're able to deal with it so that you don't lose life and property, right? So it's the iSecure Fireball. It's available at Game Express. Please go down there and get one in your home, your business, wherever it is. This is a good option for you, right? Great, good. Let's get into it. Now, a lot of things for us to discuss this morning. We can start on this note. I'm appealing to women out there, right? You guys have decisions to make in your life. And only you can make those decisions. Nobody can come and physically remove you from the purgatory that you're in. Women of Guyana, listen to me. I'm not talking about any specific race. All women, all young women coming up, just listen. It makes no sense that you are in an abusive relationship just because you may not be working, or you may feel it's your only option, which I don't understand, because everybody can do things to survive on their own. So please, I'm begging you all, remove yourselves from these abusive relationships. I understand people discuss and argue, but if somebody is physically assaulting you, what more do you need to see? Now, before I play this video, I'll give you 2 examples that this is not hearsay. Where I live, there have been 2 separate occasions where me personally, seeing women in the area getting beat up, and had to intervene to say, well, leave this woman alone, or come in on the woman's behalf, right? The first occasion, the woman, the guy was refusing to let her leave the yard. Refusing to let her leave the yard. Snatching, pulling, going on. Intervene so that she could go. She goes, brings the police. The police locks up the guy, take him to the station, lock him up. Right? A couple of hours after, I sitting watching TV and hearing abusing in the yard again. So when I check my camera, it's the same 2. You know what the man telling her? You beg the police to loose me. So he was back there the night, locked out of the house, going on like an idiot out there. Next one, who claim he's a police. Well, you know you boy don't got regard. Once you're doing stupidness, you can hear it from me. Claim he's a police. Beating up a woman in the yard, had to intervene again. You understand me? To the point where this lady asked me for $200 so she could get out of the situation because the man took away her purse. You understand? Now, mind you, I'm not asking for no relationship. Me want no gaffing because me ain't interested in none of these people. Now this lady just pass me in the yard like I do she something. She and she man move back in. You understand? Now look at this. Look at this. What I'm about to show you, and this is why I say, y'all women, y'all need to hold a focus. You understand me? And get out of certain situations and don't be stupid. Some of you just like the fact that you can stay home and do nothing. Right? Some of you like the fact that you could stay home and do nothing, but this is what usually comes with it. Look at this foolishness. Mind you, just let me say, I give everybody one chance. After I save you one time, you tried it with the next time. I would not have stood up and videoed this and allowed this to happen. I'm telling you right now, I would not have stood up videotaping this and allowed this to happen. Look at this. They're standing, men, literally standing there, listening to a woman hollering, oh, wow, wow, and a man beating shop in the back of the car. And nobody in advance to be recognized. Complete foolishness. But again, women, y'all need to get yourself out of these situations. And let me just say, I understand to some extent why those men are standing there. Because just like me, they could end up looking stupid. Because, like I said, the first woman take back the guy the same night. He bust your ass again. Now she put he out. He out. But the other people, they're still together. They're still together. They like the toxicity. I know if I said it right, but I like it. You understand? So to some extent, I understand why these guys stand there and intervene. Because at the end of the day, they intervene, something happened, they might be in more trouble than the man who actually beat the woman. Because she could go to the station and say she didn't want no story. So the only person in problems is the people who intervene on she behalf. That's how this thing is going. Y'all hear what's going on in the background? I was happy that they videotaped the license plate so at least the police could get involved in this thing. I am hoping that the police catch this guy and put him under the jail. Not kill him, but lock him up so long that it seems like he's under the jail because he can't come out. Under the jail.
Hey, let me go, man. Let me go. Yo, let me go, man. Hey. Yo.
Foolishness. This foolishness. Right? So again, I'm appealing to you women. Take yourselves out of these situations. They got help at the shelter, the Ministry of Human Services and Social Protection. There is help out there for you. There is help out there for you. And you see the Guyana Police Force. I have seen multiple reports online where females are saying they're going to make reports. And because the man knows somebody at the station, they ain't getting involved and all kind of thing. All females, if y'all have any issues in terms of being abused at home, y'all send your information to Livewire News. Send all the police station, the police you talk to, and we will publish it. We will publish it. All the photos of the bruises and everything, we can publish it. Because I am sure the upper echelons of the police force not encouraging that foolishness that's going on at the station. And just like the government, the management structure of the Guyana Police Force is often blamed for things they don't even know going on with the ranks on the road. Because remember, they're not there looking at you all the time, you know. They got nobody in the station that's looking at you to make sure you do your job. So y'all send it to us at Livewire News and we will publish it. You make sure you get the police name, everything. Anyway, let me come off of this. This getting me thing. Now, there was the funeral. We're moving on. I hope that lady gets justice. I hope that the long arm of the law stretches out to that young man as well. Anyway, we're moving on. So the funeral for little Adriana Young happened over the weekend, right? And two things jump out at me. Afro-Guyanese, not all, sorry. Some Afro-Guyanese take pride in embarrassing themselves and their race. Y'all hear me? Some Afro-Guyanese take pride in embarrassing themselves and their race. And then sometimes we wonder why some persons from some other races tend to disrespect us as Afro-Guyanese and not look at the kind of things that we are doing. You understand? We don't look at what we're doing. We just hear what people say and then don't attribute it to anything we've done. But I'm saying to you again, Afro-Guyanese keep embarrassing themselves and all other Afro-Guyanese with the shenanigans that they pull. Now, this is the scene at the burial ground for Adriana Young, right? Y'all, you see why I say what I said? Y'all seeing why I said what I said? Now, could you imagine? This is the funeral for the little girl that everybody is mourning and sad about and all this other stuff. Right? They're finally putting this little girl to rest. First of all, this whole soul funeral thing, I don't know where it came from. I do see in African culture, they have these guys who dress and they dance with the coffin and go down the road. But I've never seen it descended into this madness. Right? So they're there, Fata, this is Fat in the red jersey. I don't know who's the other person. They are there to celebrate the life of Adriana Young and to send her off finally. Give her final send off. Put her body to rest. Right? And this is the behavior at the burial ground. That aside, what the respect for the other people family who rest in there? Y'all dancing and splitsing on the people them grave? I honestly wish that 2-3 demon could just harass them too for the foolishness. The people grave who you're dancing on should haunt the two y'all. Right? And then got nobody sensible enough there to go to Fat and say, come fool, don't do this. This is disrespectful to the young lady. This is disrespectful to the grieving family. More so, it is disrespectful to the people in grave who you're dancing on. What really does be going through some of we mind? Like, what could... You're upset about what happened to Adriana Young. How is this getting justice? How is this helping the grieving family? How is this helping you or benefiting you? You know how this helps or benefits Fata? This kind of asininity would definitely be recorded and posted online. And it will generate clicks to her. So again, you see that the main goal was never for justice for Adriana. finding out what actually happening to her, persons and organizations latched on to what happened to this girl to catapult themselves into public view. Right? So it's not about Adriana. It's about going to a graveyard and doing foolishness on people's family grave. And still got on the tag for your outfit. Who started this retarded trend? Look, this girl in the white. She still got on the tag from the store. And it shows you the level of thinking of the persons you're dealing with, you know. Huh? She still got on the tag from the store. I don't know is who or where this trend started from. Right? More so, I feel like Guyanese don't see anything as embarrassing anymore. Right? Nothing is embarrassing anymore. So we gonna go out and make ourselves an ass. And it's just fine. Everything is kicks. Everything is kicks. Right? One more thing on this funeral. Now, I would have seen several videos and shows where the relatives of Adriana Young know that the second autopsy is done. You notice we ain't really hearing much from Dr. Dexter Todd. You ain't really hearing much from he other than now he in politics. Right? So I've been hearing in recordings Adriana family, some auntie or somebody else know after all the claims that they were making about autopsy and this and that and whoa, who get paid and who get paid and who get paid. After all of it came up to nothing, went overseas, the pathologist said everything is in order, but based on the contamination of what these people tell me, y'all look some more. I'm not basing everything on science. I'm basing on what Travis Chase come and tell me. I am listening to what Dr. Dexter Todd come to tell me. I'm listening to what the family come to tell me. And based on what they say, more investigation. But based on what I see in science, everything in order and everything right. Right? So now that you can't discredit the three pathologists, you can't discredit Dr. Caleb after you make a eyes fussy. I see they're still trying with Darren Wade. The auntie is now saying the grandmother spent $1 million at court, allegedly. Don't let nobody sue me. The auntie is saying the grandmother went and spent $1 million at court for furniture. Somebody alleged Sir Brian them by boss and car. Alleged. You understand? The auntie in full swing. All the conspiracy about Doubleday, the police now turn to the grandmother and the family. I've said to you, if 20 people went out, you mean to tell me not one ain't see this girl or keeping an eye on the people in the pool or making checks and checks? And you mean to tell me out of all the little children that be in there, she ain't close with none of them? Sharing the stick together, even if it's not a big group, two of them there's always alignment, two of them just be closer than the rest. None of them ain't being sticky around she to know she gone. So now, like I said, after you can't get what you want, you can't hear what you want in relation to the case, right? Because you can't hear what you want in relation to the case, you don't turn back. So now the focus is not on the police, not on Doubleday. Now you trying to put the adults or make the adults that was with them accountable for their actions. I tell you all before, I got a little cousin. She's 13-year-old. My skin growing. I love her to the bottom of my heart. You hear me? Her mother allows me to take her out and stuff and whatnot. You think I could come back to her mother and say, this girl just disappeared in a pool, and the mother start coughing me in my face, and I can tell the mother, but the hotel people, and the police. The mother send she daughter to the hotel people or the police. No day I could tell that my cousin's mother that. You mad? She go crazy on me because I am responsible. I took responsibility for the child. I took responsibility. So if the child in a pool, it's my responsibility to keep my eye on her all the time so she go back to her mother how she come. You understand me? Even when swimming involved and my little cousin with me, always, and this is before anything ever happened, to Adriana Young. Hear what I'm telling you? Anytime my cousin with me, the other day I go by a friend of mine. It was me, Quincy Anderson, Deshaun Abrams. I think it was his daughter's birthday or his wife's birthday or something. And the three men in the yard. I didn't even let my cousin go inside and sit down with the people inside. I put just to sit down outside in a corner, away from with the three of us talking, and I watching she there on your phone. I watching she all the time. No pooling involved. I trust Deshaun. I trust Quincy. I know they'll never do anything to her. I know to myself, nothing can happen to her in that house. But the mere fact that my cousin is with me, it's my responsibility. So now the auntie catch herself and decide to place blame where it should have been in the inception. The people with the responsibility to look over Adriana, 1 out of the 2, little young. The people with the responsibility to look at her while she was out. The people who took her out. Now you're hearing they didn't even know that they're going to the pool, and you didn't know this, and who lie about 3,000 for going to the pool and 1,500. A set of stupidness. Look at this here. This is the grandmother crying at the funeral. You understand me? This is the grandmother crying. Listen to the auntie.
Talking to you. Y'all are talking to. All of y'all that out there, let me need to compare. Y'all didn't know where she gone. Y'all didn't say for come here. Hey, no.
What I said initially. All of you are there. 20 people go. I got get 2 more hands for sure you. In terms of numbers, how much people go out? 20 people go out. And not one. The auntie said the grandmother put a gagard on the sister or somebody. For what reason? What every little child being there should have been with an adult to give an account to the police of what they saw. But no. They won't do that. You understand? They won't do that. They want to do that. So after the second autopsy showed there was nothing untoward going on, the blame now gets in place where it should have been initially. You were responsible. The uncle, whoever the name, who used to work there, every single adult that was there. Every single adult that was there is responsible. And I mean the adults at the pool. Within the family who carry the group to the pool, every single adult is responsible. Every single one. So you might be vexed now, auntie. But no. You being vexed now? This is where the blame should have been.
Talking to you. Y'all are talking to. All of y'all that out there, let me need to compare. Y'all didn't know where she gone. Y'all didn't say for come here. Hey, no.
Baby, all right.
Yeah, my uncle has a point. Pride your name calling you cuss out the man for no reason. Anyway, I'm happy that Adriana Young is at rest. right? I'm not sure if the police investigation is still going on or whatnot, but y'all work and let's get to the bottom of this, right? Y'all work and let's get to the bottom of this so we can find out what really happened. Now, on a political front, we can't run away from that. We got to jump across. I swear, Guyana is such a funny place. It's not even. Anyway, let me jump into this. So, the leaders of the PNC, the AFC, and the WPA, right, went on a program. The name of the program jumped out at me, Holding Hands with Knives. So I'm like, what kind of treachery is this? Holding hands with knives? We want to hold nobody hand who got a knife in the next hand. Right? Me want to hold nobody hand who got a knife in the next hand. You could stab me. But let's take a quick look. I took out some clips that I wanted to share with you so you could hear your opposition representatives and some of the bunkum that they thought. I couldn't make it through. I saw some posts online, so I got the video a little late. But let's go through. Let us go through the foolishness. Let's go.
You point out that there is another variable that the question eludes, and that is the present weakness of the PPP.
Here, the present weakness of the PPP, right?
Your opponent in 2025. Looking back in 2015, I think it would be noted and accepted that the PPP was a very weak party going into the 2015 elections. Is it your view that in 2025 that the PPP is weaker than it was in 2015?
Y'all hear the question, Tarbin Norton. Does he think the PPP is weaker than it was in 2015? Listen to Tarbin Norton here.
The answer is yes. I think they're much weaker within their own constituencies.
Mind you, the PPP had a soul, resigned from parliament, left the party to join PNC, outright speak out about PNC and disliking them, left the PPP to go and form a new party. None of that, None of that. But the PPP is at its weakest.
You're seeing dissent and people dissatisfied with what they're doing.
Dissent and people dissatisfied in what they're doing. Amanza Walton this year. Natasha Lee, the Muslim lady that resigned the other day. Faisal Mussolini or whatever he named. Gita Chandan Edmonds. And you talking about dissent? Norton got to be high.
So I think they are weaker, and the high level of corruption in the society.
So they are weaker, yet they bust your tail in Bartica, bust your tail in Madia, take more seats in New Amsterdam, take more seats in Georgetown, take more seats in Linden, and they're weaker. You are talking about corruption when the man sitting one portion away from you was part of a coalition. His wife was a minister in the last government and was giving herself contracts, and she sue a soul for defamation of character because it is true. Anytime that was not true, Cathy Hughes would have sued the life out of anybody who uttered a change of pay lawyer fees. Her husband is the lawyer. And Aubrey Norton there sitting and talking about corruption. Aubrey Norton, who got George Norton in his party, who had a whole drug ban on Sussex Street for Sean Diddy Combs, keeping lubricants and condoms in mass amounts. Really? Joe Harmon miss no apologies for nobody. You seriously talking about corruption, Aubrey Norton? This guy heading good
into the 2015 elections. Is
Listen
it
to
your
this guy.
view that in 2025 that the PPP is weaker than it was in 2015?
The answer is yes. I think they're much weaker within their own constituencies.
Could you imagine White Town, Tiger Bay, Sapphire, all those areas that have been considered PNC constituencies? A lot of those people have gravitated towards the PPP because of the work that has been done in those communities, the work that wasn't done by the Afro-Guyanese party. Norton is a complete joke.
You're seeing dissent and people dissatisfied with what they're doing.
Norton has to be speaking about the PNC. How many persons have come out and said, we're dissatisfied with Norton? I played a video here, I think it was Friday, with Ganesh Mahipal, the voice in the call that was recorded, that sounds especially similar to Ganesh Mahipal, said, oh, I could follow Norton. You see Norton doing a set of SKUNT? Is that not dissent, Dr. Norton? Look at this one here, though. Look at this. Look at this.
Opposition is concerned to wrest power from the PPP.
Now, at this point, I felt like they were at the negotiation tables again. As normal, David Hines has no say because is he and but 4 other votes he bring into the coalition in total. And Dennis Shabral seemed to be the moderator here, trying to sue for peace and to see whatever way we could find to bring you all together to get rid of the PPP. Dennis, listen to this. Listen, and tell me if Dennis don't sound like a PNC lobbyist. Listen to this.
Representing the fact you're a small party. What more can you bring to the table as far as compromises and advantages are concerned?
So it's like Dennis is asking Nigel on behalf of Aubrey Norton, because Aubrey ain't gonna ask, remember Aubrey's the big opposition party. So Dennis is bringing out Nigel to say, well, all right, well, we gonna do this. So Aubrey could listen and say, all right, we gonna consider that. So after this show here, we gonna know if we can talk again. Listen.
Well, I've already identified a couple of things. One is that we are not in the same position we were in 2015. There are many reasons for that, including the fact that there was a coalition that did not perhaps work out the way the parties had intended.
Perhaps, Nigel. The PNC, whilst in the coalition with the AFC, sexed the AFC without any lubricant. And I'm not talking about vaginally. You understand? The PNC, whilst in the coalition with the AFC, sexed the AFC without any lubricant. So Nigel's comments there are a major understatement in relation to what happened. They had the prime ministerial candidate who could not have done anything, not even manage his own portfolio. You had an agriculture minister who never knew anything about nothing. Y'all serious? You had a former culture turned education minister who couldn't differentiate between Pagwa and Diwali. You had a minister within the military natural resources. Not she. Annette, you have to send Annette for study.
In relation to your second question about compromises, we're always disposed to make compromises in the best interest of the country. It's just a question of perspective, I suppose.
What more can you do?
What more can we do in terms of...
No, I don't think y'all notice this. Please look at Aubrey Norton's face. Y'all see this face here? Look at Aubrey Norton's face, right? And listen to what Nigel Hughes say. Look at the small laugh at Nigel Hughes. Watch.
As far as compromises and advantages are concerned.
Well, I've already identified a couple of things.
No, it's
One
not
is
this
that
clip.
we're
It's
not
not
in
this
the same position we were in 2015. There are many reasons for that, including the fact that there was a coalition that did not perhaps work out the way the parties had intended. In relation to your second question about compromises, we're always disposed to make compromises. In the best interest of the country.
What's not laughing?
It's just a question of perspective, I suppose.
What more can you do?
What more can we do?
You know that is negotiating. You hear how Dennis negotiated? Now you say we put everything on the table. We try to think. We tell you what we willing to do. Here, Dennis. What more can you do? What more can you give to the PNC so that they can work with you?
On the table as compromise to achieve the total objective.
Now, what is the objective? Right? It's not the betterment to the Guyanese people. It's not development. It's always about the PPP, the PPP, the PPP. You understand?
I'm not sure what the context in which you're asking the question. I think today, as we speak, we're past that stage. If you're asking from an analytical, historic perspective, perhaps I'd be in a better position to answer that. But,
watch Dennis again. Listen to Dennis.
I don't know what facts you have available. So when you say what more,
and Nigel show the true side of Dennis, right? Because the kind of questioning, line of questioning, like Dennis got information from the inside, like Dennis started with the PNC. You understand me? So here Nigel responds to Dennis.
I don't know what context you speak, what information you received, and when you say more, whether you are in possession of what the offers come to office.
You understand what we're coming from? Nigel Hughes catch it too. Dennis go in the know, in my opinion, as somebody who trying to pull one more. What more are you willing to give? What more are you willing to give? What more are you willing to give so that we would allow you? Right? What more are you willing to give, Nigel? I'm asking you on behalf of the PNC. What more? Tell me.
Various positions were. So I may be responding, first come to office and various positions were. So I may be responding in a context in which your audience is not familiar with what went on before. And I'm very...
But isn't your party over the last few days mulling, meeting again to probably even make another offer to APNU?
You hear what Dennis asks? Isn't your party mulling, meeting to put another offer to the APNU? Dennis, Nigel didn't even know Jarita, Sherrod, and Ricky, the meeting with the APNU. Nobody in his party don't tell him nothing. What's wrong with Dennis?
No, Dennis, you must have missed the last 2 or 3 public statements or press conferences.
No, I'm not talking about the public statements. Weren't you supposed to have met within the last 24 to 48 hours again to see what more you can put on the table?
You saw Dennis trying to throw Nigel under the bus? Y'all see what's going on? Right? Now, this is how Nigel is to find out that, again, somebody within his party planning for meet with
not that I'm aware of. Not that I don't know if Mr. Norton is aware. I am not aware of any arrangement.
No, not a joint meeting at the level of your party.
So in what? I'm not following you, Dennis. Meeting between.
I'm asking if your executive of your party was not supposed to meet within the last 24 to 48 hours to see what more you can put on the table to the APNU to see whether anything else is possible.
No, I'm unaware of that.
So now Dennis bring this to Nigel's attention. Now Dennis bring this to Nigel's attention. So Nigel now going back to his party with real venom. Because he vexed. He is upset that he had to find out through Dennis Shibral that more persons from his executive meeting with the AFC. right? Now, we all know David Hines, how he stay. But look at this here.
If I may, although I share Nigel's.
Now, what David Hines does here, it shows us that even amongst themselves, race and class is a major issue. So, in my opinion, the PNC aren't really tolerable. They will tolerate Indians, but to a certain point, right? The AFC, they will tolerate Indians and Afro, but you have to be at a certain class. So David Hines explains this to us so that we understand what the underlying issue is between the two. So simply put, Nigel Hughes just look down on Aubrey Norton. See him as a lesser being. You understand? And Aubrey Norton problem is the AFC may have too much Indians in there. He doesn't like that. So they can't agree. Listen to David Hines.
Observation. I don't think there's any big policy differences, certainly among the three parties that.
And David, I agree. There's not any major policy differences between the AFC, the WP, and the PNC because all three of you have no policy. All three of you have no policy. None. So yes, you're right in that aspect. Continue, David.
Thank you. I would stick my neck out and to say that. I don't think that there are personality differences in the main. Nigel, Aubrey, and myself we know each other. We have worked together. We are not enemies. We are not political enemies in that sense. But there were...
Y'all, please listen carefully to what David Hines is saying here, please.
There are differences in the society that have raised their heads in the process of these negotiations. And it has to be so because our country is in transition to a petro state. And whenever you're in transition, there are some questions that come to the fore. And I don't think we have taken sufficient cognizance of some of those deep underlying questions. They are questions of class.
Class. Aubrey Norton is not of the same class as Nigel Hughes and his hoity-toity bunch. Right? Class.
There in our society, always there, and I think there is there. That head was raised during these negotiations. The questions of race.
Race. So Aubrey Norton isn't too, in my opinion, Aubrey Norton isn't too fond of Indians. Right? The AFC got the set. So you don't want no people over there.
That we in Guyana tend, certainly at the level of our elite political culture, tend to dance around and never really go straight up. And in the age of instant information, the age of social media, there are conversations that are going on all the time. And those conversations are seeping up to the leadership. And so therefore, I would argue that there were issues of race, issues of class, issues of who are entitled to govern.
So you understand, race, class, and the power. Race, class, and the power. The conversation is not about national development. It's not about the Guyanese people. It's about who think they're better than who they want to tolerate the race, and who must be minister, who must be president, who must be prime minister. So in those negotiations, the will of the Guyanese people, the betterment for the Guyanese people, development for the Guyanese people, progress for the Guyanese people, weren't at the top of the agenda. I am the bigger party, so I want this. but I am the more high class party, so I want this. And well, David Hines, he just a party. David Hines is David Hines. You understand? So David broke it down to us. And if you notice, not a boy on his left or right thing contradict him.
That of
none of them in jump up and say, hold up, David. Hold, David, hold. No, is that the case? Everybody sit down in the quiet. Norton faces like, we want none of them here. David, let me take this thing off so y'all could see Nigel Hughes' face. Them low life people go, so. You understand me? That is it.
Raise their heads, and they have had an impact in the outcome of these negotiations. I think I'm freer than my other two brothers to speak on that, because it's something that I have been speaking on and my party has been speaking on from the negotiations.
Look, I don't know what to do with these guys, you know. I don't know what to do with these guys. Right?
Hughes, if it is not one of those that I highlighted, would you care to give some pointers about where you think that?
I would ask to politely decline for this reason. We are in the electoral cycle. We are exceedingly close to elections.
The moderator was asking why, Hughes thought the coalition didn't work the first time around, right? And Nigel Hughes, he's Mr. Prim and Proper, right? So Nigel Hughes, a man, no man, me gonna deal with a man. Left this thing for the citation. But watch me by Aubrey. Watch this.
Mr. Hughes, if it is not one of those that I highlighted, would you care to give some pointers about where you think that?
I would ask to politely decline for this reason. We are in the electoral cycle. We are exceedingly close to elections. Any response I give that may not necessarily be accepted by Mr. Norton and vice versa is going to lead to distraction.
Champ, y'all hear any explanation given by Mr. Norton and vice versa? So I might say something, you can say something, I like you too, we can follow up on the show. See all their points. Nigel Hughes is avoiding a problem, right? Listen to Nigel.
Where both of us are fighting towards the removal of the People's Progressive Party. If Mr. Norton says that I wore a blue shirt and I deny it, that will become an issue. And rather than people attempting to look at what the APNU is saying in terms of its policies at the AFC, it gets distracted.
No policy. So what Nigel Hughes is doing here, he is using the Michelle Obama technique. When they go low, we go high, right? Aubrey Norton and that pundit. Watch this scene.
So it's not that I don't think I wouldn't want to offer a response. I just believe at this particular point in time and in this climate, it is going to become a huge distraction. And I can't speak for Mr. Norton, but I'd rather not go there at this particular point in time.
I can make a few comments.
Aubrey, take it down. Not Aubrey, I got something to say. Y'all gonna listen.
Unlike what David seems to believe, I'm not restricted in terms of talking on the issue. For instance, the issue of class is an issue I know so well.
So Norton confirms there's a class issue. And Nigel, in my opinion, they think of themselves a little higher than the rest.
I mean, I live daily with, if people see me at the Pegasus, they smile and, oh, you're here. If they see you on Orange Walk, no, you're dealing with ordinary people. And
so we understand that Nigel doesn't like, or I'm assuming that Nigel doesn't like the fact that Aubrey is a regular Bam Bam Ali. Right? But when Norton goes to Pegasus, it's for an official engagement. When you go to Bamba Mali, you ain't going there to win no hearts and minds. You ain't going there to do no political war. When you go to Bamba Mali, you in a good spirit, drinking some good spirits. Don't hold me back. Don't hold me down. I in a good spirit. You drinking some good spirits. That's what you're going to Bamba Mali to do. Drink spirits. So that is what they detest. You going out, just like how David Patterson went to that bar, drank up the spirits, stagger over the road, piss up on the people them gate and going on. And man, he's a member of parliament that's walk. I got the head high in the air, looking in all directions. You understand me? The spirits is what they detest, Aubrey. They don't like you out there drinking up the rum.
You see the classism that comes out. And I'm very cognizant of the fact that class plays a critical role. I think we are also cognizant of the fact that race play an important role.
Aubrey confirms everything that David Hines said. The Indians getting weed out of the AFC, the PNC, right? The Indians getting weed out of the PNC. They're resigning one by one.
In one of the first discussions we had, Nigel and I had agreed that you couldn't have one ethnic group at the top of the slate. And he's here, we can confirm that. And that is an indication that we were well aware that race is going to play. Yeah.
You just clarify that before people think you're talking about the presidential candidate alone. You're talking about the presidential and the prime minister.
Right, when we were talking,
Look, guys, I don't know what to say about this bunch. Let them continue and try. Right? That aside, over the weekend, the PPP had their fundraising barbecue at the Everest Cricket Club ground. Despite the weather, very well attended. Thousands of people came out in support of what they see as progress, what they see as forward movement for Guyana. Thousands of persons came out in support. I was really glad, happy to see such a turnout at the event. His Excellency was there interacting with persons as normal, the Prime Minister as well, the General Secretary of the party was there as well, several ministers on location interacting with persons, with regular Guyanese. Something like what Aubrey Norton did, but in a better environment, everybody talking, laughing, having some fun, and that kind of thing. Very well attended event. But I must touch on something that jumped out at me. Now, I think he's the regional vice chairman of Region 4, Samuel Sandy, the APNU's own operations manager on the East Coast during the 2020 elections, publicly admitted that based on his tabulations, the APNU lost the elections. Right? Now, Sandy said this evidence is still there. Because remember, I must point out, between Dennis Chibral, Vivian, whoever, and the other guy in the middle, not a single one of them asked Aubrey Norton about his SOPs that he says that he has, or Nigel Hughes. Imagine we're going into a next election a couple of months away, or a couple of months away. And the people who was involved in the last election and the rigging attempt haven't even said sorry to the public. There is so much evidence that shows the APNU, PNC, AFC crew are involved in some way, shape, or form in a rigging attempt. And all we have to go on in relation to debunk that based on what the coalition is saying is their word. We didn't do anything, it's the PPP do it. Right? Now, what is interesting is Sandy retained photographic evidence of statements of polls. And those statements of polls directly contradict APNU's narrative that they won. I am hoping that he posts these things online so persons can see. Now, Sandy would have admitted that he remained silent at the time due to fear of backlash from his own PNC stronghold community. From his own community. So he couldn't even be honest because the people around him didn't deal with honesty. Sandy said further that he begged the leaders of the PNCR to be honest with the Guyanese people and admit defeat. So y'all realize, if Sandy, who was just a regional vice chairman, every single one of them that's sitting in the National Assembly has an idea of what went down, the truth about it. Christopher Jones, Valder Lawrence, Sherrod Duncan, Guyanese Harry Potter, the Guyanese hypocrite, everybody knows what went down in there. All of them sitting in parliament, Jarita, everybody knew what happened. If Sandy knew, they knew. Right? And at least you saw that, or with this revelation, we understand that the morals in Sandy couldn't allow it to. It didn't sitting right with Sandy. It took a while for you to bring out the truth, but it didn't sit in right with Sandy. Now, we have heard stories that Granger was kept in the dark. There is only tell Granger certain thing. Granger's got to go to bed by 6:30. You got to get your porridge by 5:30. They got to bore you by 5:45 so you can make your 6:30 bedtime. Right? It has often been said Granger didn't know what the hell they're going on in relation to the elections, the administration, nothing. Granger was a little more rubbery than Nagamutu. You understand? So Sandy suggested former President Granger was unaware of the plot to rig the elections. Right? So his account is that Granger agreed to the recount in good faith. He thought he actually win. So you could see, I saw, who had this flyer up? Somebody had up a flyer with the face of Jagdio on a pyramid, like if you call it Pharaoh. And they had like a puppet thing with some strings and they had the president attached to it. Right? That's Granger. That was Granger 2015 to 2020. I hear a story that when Granger conceded, Harmon allegedly Boxy, Platai, what you doing? You sure? Allegedly. You understand? So Granger didn't even know. Granger's sick with himself in a car, not losing his hair, everything you know going on, he just there. And the people who wrong he, tricky, good and proper, had he talking stupidness, but competent interlocutor and thing, and then Babs, when he think come on the recount down, the recount is done. PPP. Why you think Granger disappear? Not disappear, he disappear after the 2020 elections, never to be seen again. Only Granger turn a groundhog after the 2020 election. He only coming out once a year. Y'all know Americans just look for groundhogs so they can know when either winter or spring or something coming. That's what Granger turned into. Every 6-7 months, he's pop out to hold do an interview, gone back in. You ever see Granger at any event or anything for the PNC? Not even the Congress Granger show up to. Not even the Congress. Granger currently is the lead in the list. Not even the Congress. They had thing for boredom, all kind of thing. They had They had bingo, domino, all kind of things. It's like, no, I'm not being safe with y'all. Y'all trick me. Right? Oh, Lord. So, Grace didn't know what's going on. Right? Now, Sandy say he cut ties with the PNCR and he is publicly endorsing the PPP, citing his inability to live with the lies. You know how much PNC people are under pressure right now? The hard, heavy. They carry around a load upon them. They carrying a load they can't even. Y'all understand what's going on? Sandy went into the confession box to lift the burden off his soul that the AP and UPNC put on him. You understand me? He had to let it off, so he said, no, I done. I gone. So while the APNU continues to claim it has SOPs proving it won, its own campaign manager says otherwise. And this proves that the APNU, PNC, and at the time, because they ain't together no more, AFC narrative is a complete fabrication. They've never won any elections here. Everybody in Guyana did disenchanted 2020. Because they want to know what's going on. We had to go till to Makoro, the Makoro Bridge. We had to go till to the Makoro Bridge to see some development in this country. You understand me? And it sent me, the Guyanese hypocrites sent us till to the Makoro Bridge. And mind you, it's the Maruka Bridge. And if you check the bridge now, it got to get worse because all the access to the bridge broken up. Done with. You understand? And persons in that area, engineers have said to me, they could have built a better bridge for less money. Right? So Samuel's decision to speak out now, even if it's late, right, adds credibility to the well-known fact that the APNU AFC attempted to rig the elections, the 2020 elections. And the fact that they are continuing to deceive their supporters. Continually. Now, what's the big picture here? Sandy's account adds to the growing list of insiders like Vincent Alexander and GCOM officials who have either exposed, let me put Vincent Alexander, who have either exposed, they got plenty of people who are coming out, who are bringing this information out, who have refused to support this rigging narrative. And we're going to see more people like Sandy coming out. You understand? We're going to see more people like Sandy coming out. Y'all sit tight and wait, you know. Right? Guys, I get it out of here. But before I go, just let me remind you to pick up the iSecure Fireball at Game Express. This is a really great alternative to the fire extinguisher. As I said before, not all children or elderly persons may be able to lift and operate a fire extinguisher. This gives you another option to save your home, your property, and life. It can be operated by a child, an old person, anybody. Pick it up, roll it in the fire, fire out. Simple as that. They're available at Game Express. Please check them out. Oh gosh, I don't have his number here. Or you can call, let me pull up his number for you. This is a product by Quincy Anderson. So, oh gosh, one more thing before I go. Pride Pride gonna vex with me. Now, in relation to the fireball, you can call 609-7559 to get more information. If you want to pick it up, you can go down to Game Express to pick up your fireball. They have them in large quantities, so you have nothing to worry about. Right? Now, this video here I'm sharing with you. So, Pride would have sent me some videos over the weekend. I forgot to download it. But before I go, y'all just hold on a second. Let me share this with you. Now, y'all often hear how I talk about City Hall and the fact that they are not doing much, right? The fact that they are not doing much. But the off chance that City Hall decides to do something usually is bare stupidness, right? So City Hall went into the Campbellville area and did this. This is Pride Bacchus telling us what's going on. He lives in the area and he shared this video with me. Y'all take a look.
I see City Council pull up on people for dropping in sand on the parapet. Now since 5 o'clock, 5:30 yesterday, I was inconvenienced by these people who's working at this place. So I don't really know the address. It's in Diabru Street. Probably 1 something. But been getting no water since yesterday at around 5:30, 5:45. It's now 12 hours later, and this is the end result.
Now, I may have misunderstood the video. I don't think it's City Hall, but he's saying City Hall should take some action in relation to this, right? So the video that you just watched was sent to me.
I see City Council pull up on people for dropping in.
Hold on. There's another one that I downloaded. Just a second. Right? So he's talking about the fact that City Hall would usually have some kind of repercussion for persons putting sand on the parapet. Somebody digging out the flames there, left everything in the road. I think they dig up the GWI lines and all kind of thing and gone. So this is the video I got this morning.
I see City Council pull
I
up on
think
people
Price
for
sent me the same video twice. I think he sent me the same video twice. But City Hall, y'all running and sort out to go in on. Right? Based on the other information that was sent. So I think this is a post from GWI. The Shelter Belt Water Treatment Plant serves these areas. The areas are Thomaslands, South and North Cummingsburg, Campbellville, west of Sheriff Street, Sobrianville, Belleair Park, Belleair Gardens, Belleair Springs, Blackizet, Lazytown, Border, Albertown, Queenstown, Northeast Le Penitence, Dorban Backlands, Meadowbrook Gardens. The Shelter Belt Treatment Plant serves these areas. This disruption which you are experiencing to your water supply is due to emergency repairs being carried out on a broken 8-inch transmission line, which was damaged by a contractor in the Silver Street. Customers in the aforementioned areas will receive low water pressure. GWI technical teams have been mobilized and is working to complete this in the shortest time. The contractor should pay to fix that. You billing people place and digging up people place, and you ain't going to check to see what GWI pipe run. If GT&T got fiber optic cable in the area, you just digging like your hair ain't good. The GWI should take some kind of action against the contractor for that. That's nonsense. That's complete nonsense. Guys, I'm out of here. Y'all have a wonderful day. Please remember to be good Guyanese. Please be safe on the roadways. Look out for those people who aren't looking out for you. And as I usually say before I go, it's all about peace. It's all about love. It's all about one Guyana.
peaceful people struggle as we struggle, and we don't look for trouble, just ask around. But when outside faces from foreign places talk about taking over, we ain't backing down. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no tree, we ain't giving up no river that belongs to we. Not one blue sake, not one rice grain, not one grass, not a blade of grass. This land is all I know. We're gonna make it somehow. We will bend like a bow, but never break. Our fathers came here, and they lived and died here, and we ain't moving nowhere, make no mistake. We ain't giving up no mountains, we ain't giving up no trees.